This is IA Forward, your playbook for success as an independent insurance agent. Here to help you knock it out of the ballpark are your hosts, Shane Tatum and Tonya Lead.
Welcome to IA Forward and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Shane, would you like to introduce your special guest today?
I've been married to her for a while, and she's going to make fun of me the whole time. And that's okay. So I have the former Julie Denise Bush, who is now Julie Tatum for the last 28 years, my wife, and the Integra accounting manager. Official title is now Managing Director of Accounting. So it's a lot of stuff.
I just say accounting manager.
Julie's the one that keeps the money straight and keeps all of us straight. How's that?
Just the money straight.
And Shane. So if you keep Shane straight, then that's a full-time job in and of itself, right?
Yes, it is.
She just endures Shane.
Yes.
She doesn't really keep Shane straight. She just puts up with it, deals with it. It's going to be what it's going to be.
Yes.
So for this very special Christmas Day episode, we have the fabulous Julie, and joining us on my side is the cute boy.
Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm not the account manager. I'm just the cute boy.
You're just the cute boy, yeah.
Do you have a real name?
I do have a real name. My name is Daniel. It's very rarely used, though. Only a few people know it.
There was several months there in the beginning where I wasn't sure you had a real name. You were just the cute boy on your actual birth certificate.
A lot of people are like that. They meet me and they're like, hey, are you David? And I'm like, no, I'm not David. Where'd you get David from? I've had it happen a few times.
My favorite Shane and Daniel story happened at the very first Integra conference that we attended. And Daniel came down for one of our receptions, and I was off doing something else. And Shane and Julie were trying to figure out who this random person was at the reception. And finally, Shane walked over as I was walking up, and he looked at Daniel and said, "You're the cute boy." And I thought Daniel was going to just like melt into the floor.
There was a random dude walking around our reception.
We thought it was a reception crasher.
I actually thought it was, like a wedding crasher.
Yeah.
He was like a trade show crasher.
Yes.
Those things exist. We actually have people that did that.
This year.
This year, random couple came in and ate some of our food.
Mm-hmm. And got some carrier stuff.
You remember?
Well, there was food involved, so I was like, yes, I'll come down. Is it good food? Yes, it was great food. And I was like, okay, I'll go.
Why not?
Julie, this is your opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
This is your chance. For 2 years, Shane has been telling Julie stories. This is your chance to defend yourself.
What story do you want defended?
SeaWorld is the first one where we're going to start.
SeaWorld. You leave out the most important part.
I had a conference in San Antonio, Texas, and Julie decides, because she is a amusement park crazy person. So they go to SeaWorld and they're riding rides. Emma Kate, at the time, was very small.
Mm-hmm.
She did not go above a lot of the "you must be this tall to ride this ride" mark.
Yeah, she was little.
That's how small she was. Julie wanted to ride
Still ill.
the Still Ill.
Best ride at SeaWorld.
Best ride. And Hannah was old enough and tall enough to go above that mark. There happened to be a lady who had a young child that turned out to be a grandson.
Mm-hmm.
And
you left that part out.
I left that out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is the part we're filling in the blanks.
Mm-hmm.
And so the grandson wanted to ride the Still Ill, but the grandmother was not wanting to ride the Still Ill. Julie decided to temporarily trade Emma Kate for the grandson.
Yes.
And with this random lady that she met about
In the line.
a minute before, in the line. And Emma stays with the lady, and Julie takes the grandson, and they go ride the Still Ill. And it went something along the lines of, as you were getting up to the top, you looked down and saw
Click,
Emma,
click,
and you were like, oh God, what did I do?
I really hope she is his grandmother.
So
you left that out.
I left out the grandmother part.
Yes, you just said
That changed everything.
Yes, you just said I left my child to go ride the ride.
It was a fun story.
Made for a good podcast.
Made for a great podcast story.
I am a good mom.
You are a good mom.
I'm a good mom.
You've been a good
I
mom
took
since
them
day one.
to SeaWorld by myself.
There's a statute of limitations there, right? So that's why.
Surely.
It's okay.
That's 18 years ago, so it's way
Okay,
past.
so
yeah.
so you're free to tell that story. Just don't tell it in the first 5 years after it happened. Is that right? Because nowadays, I'm not sure what would happen if you did that.
Is it kidnapping if you trade?
It went both ways, so everybody would be in trouble.
Let's just say in today's world, if I knew what I knew now, I would not have done that. It was a different world.
It was a different world.
When I was young, I got left at store and just forgotten for an hour. And then they came back from the convenience store an hour later to pick me up.
It was a convenience store.
Yes, a convenience store. They just left without me, and I was like 4 or 5.
See,
I was imagining like a J.C. Penney's or a Sears or
No,
something.
but that's like a long time ago because I'm old now. So it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't even made a big deal. She just came back and picked me up and said, oh, we forgot him.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the cute boy. I'm going to tell this story on him. When Daniel and I met, I was on a morning show on the radio, and apparently Daniel did not realize that morning shows on radio involve telling the story of your life. He is driving to work the morning after our first adventure together.
And I want to be supportive, so I cut the radio on.
And what did you hear?
The very first episode was 10 things you don't do on the first date. And she doesn't just say, this is 10 things you shouldn't do on the first date. She goes, this is 10 things you shouldn't do on the first date, which the Keep Boy did every one of these on our first date, that kind of thing. And then she just starts reading them off. And then the worst one is this. And it was actually what I did. And so I was like, okay, funny pa.
Right.
On the way. Yeah. And I have a sense of humor, so I brushed it off. But then the next morning on the way, it was like, guess what the Keep Boy did yesterday? So after about 3 shows in a row, I said, I'm going to turn the radio to a different station. I don't.
The podcast started out with Julie and listening pretty regularly. And then like after a few podcasts, she went down a very similar path.
yes, it gets too insurance for me.
It gets too insurance.
It gets way too insurance
Okay.
for me.
All right. So you work for an insurance organization, but you're not insurance
I am not insurance-y.
at all.
No.
So when people like all your friends say, hey, can you
Mhm.
check on my insurance?
Yes. No,
That-
I cannot.
That's not something you
I can tell you who to call, but I don't know insurance.
And I wish my experience had been the same. That I could have said it was too insurancy. It was too insulting to me. It was too humiliating to me. That's what it was. That's a better word. Humiliating to me to
Humiliating.
listen to it.
And that is why you are the cute boy, right? Because Daniel works a very corporate job and wasn't necessarily comfortable with me calling him out by name on the radio, right?
And I did not come up with that name.
No, you did not. You
I
did
clarify
not.
that every time it's used.
Yes, in fact, our IA Forward producer, fabulous Dave Mack, came up with that name for you, and we never imagined that it would have stuck this many years later. Daniel's suggestion was, why don't you just call me your fiance? Now, keeping in mind that we had just started dating, there had been no mention of marriage. And I'm like, if I go on the radio and announce that I have a fiance, first of all, my mama's going to be at the radio station in about 20 minutes, and it's an hour drive from where she lives. And the gifts will start arriving. We cannot tell the world that I have a fiance when I have first started dating someone. So yeah, I'm not quite sure he thought that was a better option.
I didn't think it through. I didn't. And I didn't live it down.
And you still got married. It wasn't a total disaster. So you just got all the insulting things and like things you don't do on a first date. You just got all that stuff out of the way. So think about it that way. You just climbed that mountain. You crossed that bridge early on in the relationship, and it's all uphill from there, right?
Julia, I would love to know what your thoughts were when Shane came to you and said, I'm thinking about doing a podcast.
We all know Shane loves to talk, so I wasn't that surprised. He can talk to himself and be happy.
I do
So,
talk to myself quite a bit.
quite a bit. I wasn't surprised.
Good idea, bad idea?
Good idea. Good idea. Because he likes to talk and because he's good at it.
There you go.
And-
And plus, it helps him get his words out, right?
And then you don't have to
Yes,
hear
and
as
then
much.
I don't have to hear those words. Yes.
Julie's like 1,000 words a day, and I'm like 50,000.
This is going to take me over the top for several days.
She's probably going to go into a fetal position for a couple of days right here. This is just where we're at.
It's Christmas Day, so maybe she can get through today and then spend the rest of the week there. So speaking of Christmas Day, Julie, tell me, what's your favorite Christmas tradition?
We have several. We make Christmas candy. I started that with my mom. The girls open a gift on Christmas Eve. It's always pajamas because when they were little, I wanted them to match for pictures on Christmas morning. So we always do pajamas. You read the Christmas story from Luke. A lot of our stuff is Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day is just the crazy get up. We don't have to get up early anymore. We used to have to get up early. Now we get up before the girls.
Yeah. We have to
drink
drag
our
them out of
coffee
bed.
and wait for them to wake up. And
Our family's always been fairly close in terms of like geographic distance.
Yes.
So we've always been able to be around our parents or siblings, cousins even at times. Around Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Yes,
like
it's always-
around that 2 or 3 day process. It's definitely different as empty nester.
yeah.
We don't get everybody back to our house until just a few days before Christmas. And that's going to be interesting to see how it goes from here when
Mhm.
there's significant others
Yeah,
in
it could
the
change.
in the life of the daughters. And it's just a different stage. We're waiting to find out what the new traditions are going to look like.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
What's your favorite Christmas gift that you've ever received?
Can I go all the way back to childhood?
Sure.
One year I got Holly Hobby desk. That's my favorite gift ever.
Julie, you and Daniel are the Excel experts. So what is it like having that Excel personality and being married to the marketing salesperson?
Sometimes it is a little frustrating because the marketing sales is not black and white. Everything should be black and white, in lines, add up. And the sales and marketing does not.
It is not.
It is not.
How about y'all? What do you think about that, Daniel?
What is it like living with the marketing person? I could go on for days about this. Which one? You wanted the top 3 or what? Frustrating.
Have y'all been
point?
married long enough to answer this question? Does that need to wait?
We hit 5 years now. So
Yeah, we
we're
made it
over
5,
I'm over
so-
5, so we're right on pace to go downhill to 7, right?
Okay, that's right.
I guess 2 things stick out in my mind that are frustrating besides the mess, besides the black and white mess. That's a given. The number one thing is every time I turn around, I'm like, when a stupid commercial comes on or I hear something stupid, I'm like, that's so stupid. Why would they do that? I hate that commercial like that. And she says, they made you pay attention to it, didn't they? I just can't stand that. It's like, it must have worked because now you remember the product, right? And I'm like, stop taking my joy away from hating it. And then the other one, the worst thing you can ever do is get 2 of them in the same room together. Because then I just need to leave, sit down in the corner, because they're going to just talk about stuff I don't understand. And we moved recently, and the neighbor is a marketing person. Every time we see the neighbor, it's just like me and the spouse has to leave the room. But
Not only is our neighbor a marketing person, they are the sales manager of a television group. And so not only can we talk marketing, we can talk media.
Oh, wow.
yeah. And when it goes down that rabbit hole, you just never climb out. Never. Until it's
Wow.
like, we got to leave.
It's really funny because when we try to go outside and exercise, it's like somehow they know and they come outside. So if we exercise, we have to leave the neighborhood because we can't just walk down the street because then the marketing side takes over.
And then we're talking for an hour outside, then we're going out to eat, and all of this marketing the whole time.
Bless your heart.
It's a tough life, but somebody has to do it.
That is very similar to how Julie would probably say she feels around insurance receptions, like trade show receptions,
Insurance dinners.
insurance dinners, because insurance agents are by nature salespeople. That's what makes them really good insurance people. And they generally have somewhat of a marketing tactic to them. And there is a lot of that. And then you bring in the numbers person to the conversation and it's too much. Sometimes she just can't do it. And then I accidentally leave her.
Yes.
I don't know if I leave her in the room.
You just get another conversation.
I end up pulled into another conversation and she just gets stranded on an island. Have you ever had that experience?
All the time. As long as there's food around and I can go get some food or something, I'm good. Otherwise, I'm just standing there by myself. Then I'll find her again, and then she leaves me again.
I just get asked lots of questions that I don't know the answer to. And they
Especially-
think I should because I'm the accounting manager. I don't know these answers.
Yeah, especially because when they find out we work together and she works in the agency and it's, and then they start throwing insurance at her. That's the worst.
Oh, I don't get that, thank goodness. Oh my gosh. See, life can always be worse. I only get that. I only have to explain why I'm the cute boy all the time. And then I'm humiliated and I leave.
Well, at least you're cute.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you.
Maybe now that you're 50.
Does it help?
You should get an upgrade to be like the cute man or something.
That would help. That would be better. Yeah.
I don't know. That just doesn't roll off the tongue as well, though.
I understand. It's not going to change.
It's not going to change.
I've tried to change it. It doesn't change.
Julie, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Meet Me in St. Louis. That's my all-time favorite
love
Christmas
that
movie.
one.
It's my favorite Christmas movie. Second is probably The Holiday. Of course we love it.
Elf.
But I feel like we could watch Elf year
Have y'all
round.
watched Elf yet?
Have you watched it yet?
All the way through?
No, not all the way through.
I've watched it 30 times probably.
I know. I mean, we
Daniel
quote
loves
Elf.
it.
I can just watch 10 minutes of it or anything. Just cut it on all the time.
I know.
If it's on, I'll watch a little bit of it and
Yeah,
leave it.
yeah, it's the best. But Meet Me in St. Louis is my absolute favorite Christmas movie.
Okay, Daniel, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
The Jim Carrey Grinch, I would say.
Oh,
Which is the soundtrack of our honeymoon. When I got so sick on our honeymoon and was
At
down
Christmas time.
for days and days at a time in December, every time I would wake up from all the meds, I would hear The Grinch That Stole Christmas. And everything about that movie just reminds me of the disaster that was our honeymoon and the fact that we survived it. So y'all had a Christmas honeymoon too, didn't you?
Oh, we did.
Let's talk about
Oh,
that.
we did. Have y'all? You've never talked about our honeymoon?
Just once. Yes, we did talk about the honeymoon once a long time ago. So Julie gets to defend herself for this one too.
It's a miracle that she stayed with me actually after the first year in general.
First year was
but the honeymoon.
a doozy.
Yeah, the honeymoon was definitely her preview for the first year doozy that she was in store for.
You want to expound on the honeymoon?
December wedding
December?
on an odd day.
No, I
We're
should have.
still trying to figure out how we got married.
Because that's when the church was available and people only got married on Saturday then.
That's right. There was no venues,
No.
and that was just not what you did.
No,
and
you-
you went to the church and you got married, and that was on December 9th.
Yes.
And you thought for a few years, several years actually, it was on December 10th.
Yes. Because
Because-
I would have never gotten married on an odd day.
Being the numbers person
Yes.
she is, it would have never been an odd day. 9th would have never worked. It had to be the 10th. And so she convinced herself that we were married on the 10th. I actually had to pull up the computer and go all the way back to 1995 and prove to her that the 9th was that Saturday.
And I didn't realize this till this year, but because I thought that for so many years, I've confused our children because our oldest daughter thought this year our anniversary was on the 10th.
That's correct. She was actually a day late,
She was a day late.
congratulating us or wishing us happy anniversary because she forgot that it's on the 9th and not the 10th.
Yes.
We have a lot of little things like that
Yes.
in our past. So the honeymoon, so being a Christmas or December wedding, we went to Breckenridge, Colorado.
You
We-
don't remember why?
We were supposed to go
Yes.
to Park City,
Yes.
but they didn't have snow that year. And so we went to Breckenridge, and it was the coldest maybe in years, maybe decades that it had been, and
Low zero.
definitely below zero, and snowed a lot. And it started out with, we're on a 7-day honeymoon. I can't even believe I did this. When I went to get our lift tickets, the guy asked how many days, and I said 7 because we're on a 7-day honeymoon. We're skiing 7 days, of course. I didn't think about sleigh rides or
Shopping days.
shopping days, or so we had 7 days of lift tickets.
Yes, we did. Even though I tried to tell you with my eyes,
I didn't know the eye
you didn't
look
know the eye look
yet because we'd only been married like a week. So
I tried to tell you.
there was that, and then there was the best story of all the stories.
Lunch.
That's a good one too. So
Yeah.
I'll tell both of those. The first story was her ski outfit was not for
Skiing.
skiing; it was to look cute. So she did not have
What's
the
her
warmest.
honeymoon? This makes sense.
It was cute.
Understand, so
Cute.
it makes sense. She looked amazing on the slopes, and she was freezing, like
Yes.
literally like about to get hypothermia
Yes.
freezing, but she looked incredible. She's beautiful. And most days she
We also
tried to
didn't
be a
ski
good
the same.
sport, right?
We didn't ski. the
No, we
same.
didn't ski the same. I was very aggressive at
Yes.
that time. I was a very aggressive skier. And she decides that she's going to go back to the room. I'm going to ski down. And I was like, okay, I'll be in later. A mistake number one. You're on your honeymoon. I had no clue. Literally riding the lift back up to the top of the mountain as she's
As my tears are freezing down my face.
as her tears are freezing on her cheeks, and she's skiing down to the ski-in facility that we were staying in, and I get on the lift with an older couple. They start conversation. Are you from here? No, I'm from Texas. Oh, are you with a group? No. Why are you here? Oh, I'm on my honeymoon. Oh, congratulations. Where's your wife? She was cold. She went back to the room. And the lady, I remember it like it was yesterday. She was like, you idiot. I wish I could find this couple because I really want to say, hey, we just celebrated 28 years. We made it.
You didn't feel guilty, though.
I didn't at the time. I feel guilty now.
You
but I
skied
did.
till
I skied.
there was no more skiing.
Right. The lift closed at 4. I made it back to the room about 4:30.
Yes.
The second story is we're going to have lunch up on top of the mountain one of the days. And we go in and we see that they're having a buffet and it's awesome. And it was like duck. To have roasted duck on the buffet was like a whole level of bougie that we had never experienced. And so we got to do this. The sign said it was $4.95 a person, $4.95 a person. And I'm like, that's too cheap. We got to take that. And so we go.
We eat up.
We eat it up. We are living it up, loving life. And then the bill came, and it just so happened that we read the wrong buffet sign. There was 2 buffet signs. The downstairs buffet was $4.95 a person. The upstairs buffet, and this is 1995, so just do the reverse inflation here for a minute. It was like $29.95 or something like that a person.
Doesn't sound like a lot.
I was thinking it was close to probably $79 or $89 a person now.
Maybe, yeah. This was not a world of credit cards yet. This was not a world of debit cards really yet.
Check or cash?
Check or cash. We didn't have a checkbook on us. I didn't have $100, $80 of cash on me on the slopes.
Even though your dad always told you
always
to take cash.
Keep $100 in your pocket all the time. You know, it's great if you got $100. We didn't have $100. I literally have $10.
Yes.
In my pocket. And we have a big bill. And so I have to ski down the mountain to the room, get cash. Julie has to stay. And then I have to come all the way back up just to pay.
Yes.
And clear our bill. Because
it was a good lunch.
It was the best duck buffet I had ever had in my life.
I don't think I've had duck since.
No, probably not.
Yeah, duck buffet.
The duck buffet. Yes.
Yeah. Great story.
Which Christmas honeymoon tale are you going to tell?
Probably the most interesting is we were on our honeymoon, and it was way too long, planned out for 2 weeks plus.
Yeah, it was almost 3 weeks, and we now know that we are 5-day vacation people. So at the point that we are 2 to 3 weeks in,
yeah, on the 5th day, I actually did look at just abandoning and flying home. I literally brought up Delta and said, "How much does it cost to leave right now?" Let's just go home.
And it was well over $2,000, so that's why we stayed.
And of course, we would lose all the money for all the hotels. But probably the best one is at the very end of it, after it's been a disaster. She's been sick most of the time for multiple reasons. We go to our favorite things to do is the LSU game. And we get off the plane at the LSU game at the final stop of our honeymoon. And as soon as we get our feet into the terminal, I turn to her and say, "I forgot the tickets." And these were not electronic tickets, and there was no such thing as electronic tickets. The tickets are still at home. 2 weeks ago, I forgot them, and it didn't dawn on me until 2 weeks later.
And it was New Year's Eve.
Yes.
And it was New Year's Eve.
Everything's closed.
So you couldn't get tickets overnighted from Pensacola to Arizona.
We're in Arizona with no tickets. Hunting tickets. Then we do manage to get another set of tickets.
We do. The building caught on fire while we were there.
Yeah, it's a whole new set, though. It's not a replacement because they were paper tickets. You don't get not electronic or anything. So we finally get, and that's almost a disaster. Yeah, the building caught on fire while we were getting our tickets. And we get to the game, and then Tonya loses that ticket at the game, at the check-in, before they scan it.
I did not lose it. We were going
put it down in front of
security,
and then it was gone.
They made me put my ticket down, and when I got to the other side of security, my ticket was gone.
Yeah.
So
usually you look at your money and stuff in the tray as you're walking through, and you don't let people just grab your stuff.
They didn't grab anything else. It was the drunk people from Central Florida.
Maybe so. But when we got on the other side of it, we're at the very last stop of the honeymoon disaster. And she just breaks down in a complete ugly cry, bawling, knees to the ground. I can't take it anymore. I'm done with this.
And he had never really seen me lose it. Like, I don't lose it like that. And I lost it because it had been the biggest disaster. And I remember just sobbing and saying, I'll just go sit in the car and you go to the game. And nothing he could say could get me calm. It was horrible.
So I carry her over to the players' entrance, and some things just work out. So the players' entrance felt so bad for us that they gave us the third set of tickets in a whole different place. Really good tickets this time.
Yeah.
And let us go right into the players' entrance and walk through. We didn't go through security. Walked to our little game and had a blast. And actually, it went pretty well for the next 12 hours.
We had dinner and then got on an airplane and flew home.
That was my favorite part of it.
Julie actually called her mom from our honeymoon crying.
I did. Probably the day that I was by myself.
You think it was the day I left you on the slopes? I think it was the day I was by
myself.
Okay. Obviously, I wasn't mature enough to know what marriage was at that point in time. But she calls her mom and she's upset. And her mom's, babe, what's wrong? And Julie literally said, it would have been a lot more fun if we would have been with a group of people on your honeymoon.
You just wanted to ski all the time.
I did make you breakfast.
You did make me breakfast.
She claimed that she gained like 10.
I gained 6 pounds.
6 pounds on her honeymoon because I cooked pancakes every morning. I made pancakes every morning, breakfast every morning, which still happens.
Yes.
To this day, I'm the breakfast cooker.
Yes.
And so that was an interesting thing about a tradition from our honeymoon that actually worked out really well.
One day I unplugged all the alarm clocks so you would miss.
Because the lifts open at 9.
Yes.
You got to be on the mountain at 8:30.
You definitely do when it's all about skiing.
I do have to say, because during our Christmas honeymoon, between finding out that I'm allergic to red wine in Napa and getting food poisoning in Raleigh from sushi.
At our first stop.
It was just
immediate stop.
He did go to the Nutcracker and the candlelight caroling service with the symphony with his mom on our honeymoon since I was indisposed in our hotel room. I did look at him at one point. I said, can you just please get another hotel room?
She didn't want me in the same room. So very similar. I was alone during her honeymoon just for different reasons. And she wanted me more alone. When she said get a different room, I was like, no, that's too much. No. I'm not getting another room at the hotel. She was serious.
Housekeeping was having to come clean our room 4 times a day. It was that bad.
She was sick the whole 3 days.
Yeah, the whole days. Every day
Raleigh.
We were in Raleigh. Yeah. So yeah. He had actually told his mom when we arrived in Raleigh. We flew from Napa to Raleigh on Christmas Eve.
On a red eye
on United Airlines in first class. And apparently they had forgotten to put the cushions on the first class chairs. It was the worst flight that you could ever imagine. And as soon as we got to Raleigh, he called his mom that morning and told her that he really did not want to be there and that he really just wished that we had flown home instead of to Raleigh. And that's always a fantastic thing to tell your mother on Christmas morning.
I'm not a smart man.
You are a smart man. We were done at that point, and we still had Raleigh and New Orleans and Arizona and Nashville to go. So we had 4 more stops after that.
It was the dumbest plan ever.
It really was. It was horrible. It was,
That's an aggressive.
That's a rock band tour.
It was. It was because
the first 3 days were good.
First 3 days were amazing in San Francisco. They really were. They were extraordinary.
They were. It was our favorite vacation.
Yeah.
Just the first 3.
Those 3 days.
The next 18 were terrible.
Y'all literally touched every time zone in the continental U.S.
We did. And that was a really bad idea. That was a really terrible. Do y'all do wish lists or do y'all surprise each other?
We stopped buying like big gifts. We just do
10,
stockings
maybe?
for each other. Now, as the girls have gotten older, it's turned into a little bit more because they get involved and it doesn't always fit in a stocking. But I'll normally just make a list on Amazon, make it easy for everyone.
It is wonderful to have an Amazon list.
I have a Julie Christmas Amazon list. Shane gets the same thing every year. I just don't even think he knows it.
Do you rewrap it or do you buy it new every year?
No, I buy it new every year. And every year he is just like, how do you know what to give me? Because I get you the same thing every single year.
Have you seen those memes about the kids excited about opening presents and the dad just as excited to see what they got because he doesn't know? That's like me. I don't give and I don't receive gifts. I don't know what it is. I'm working on it. Maybe when I grow up. I am truly surprised. The Moleskine, the notebook. I'm like surprised every year that she gets me a Moleskine, and she gets me a new Moleskine every year. I'm like, wow, I was going to get one of those. Thanks.
I get you the same thing.
Yeah.
But you just don't remember.
No, I don't.
And
I don't.
Every year it's like it's brand new. It's hilarious. It's very fortunate for me.
She is incredible at picking up on comments throughout the year. I need that. She'll remember that from like March or write it down or whatever she does in her incredibly organized self. And she will probably say things like that throughout the year. And I'm like over my head, totally clueless.
I don't.
And I don't
just
know.
put it on an Amazon list.
But now she puts it on an Amazon
Yes.
list. And now that has basically saved my world because Christmas has usually rocked me. I'm usually the guy going like on the 23rd to Target trying to scrounge something up.
Yes.
I don't have to do that anymore.
Well, I'm not that guy, but I have the same experience, though. Because Tonya doesn't need surprises. Now, she likes gifts, but the right ones. She just makes it easy for me. It's almost like she just bails me out every holiday. She just bails me out, and I'm like, thank you so much. That was the best gift she could give me. It's
That's
just
right.
bailing me out on my gift to her. That's the best gift ever.
Absolutely.
And then she also does that same thing. She picks up on it all year. And then like I get this stuff and I said, oh, I wanted that like 8 months ago. It was so cool, you know. And I'm like, how does she remember it? And yeah, she drops me hints all the time. And I'm like, when are you going to send me your Christmas list? And she's like already sent it to me like 3 weeks ago. And I forgot she even sent it to me.
The thing about Daniel, though, is Daniel can't keep a gift.
Oh, yeah. That's
And so that's the other thing is that I had 2 gifts arrive today that were sitting on the kitchen counter. And I'm like, you could have wrapped them. And he's like, I wanted you to be able to enjoy them.
I give her stuff all the time early. Christmas is over when she gets it, so she packs it up for a year, and then she finally gets to enjoy it. I shouldn't wait for that.
So he got me 2 pieces of my Linux nativity. And so he wanted me to be able to enjoy it over the next few days as opposed to waiting until
Just bang it,
Christmas.
see?
So,
But I can come up with an excuse for all of them because she's already gotten like 4 or 5 gifts this year.
okay, he got me a kitchen sink. I'm so excited. And you're officially old when you get excited because you got a kitchen sink.
That was her number one ask.
Yes, because that's what I wanted. I wanted a kitchen sink. And he went ahead and installed the new kitchen sink because I would rather have it for our Christmas party than have it under the Christmas tree.
And then you picked out a chair. She's already gotten her Christmas. All of it.
I did. I got the most obnoxious gold, red, and orange settee for my reading room. It is
Settee?
so incredibly.
I would call it
it's
a chair.
It's a settee.
A settee. Okay. Like you sit in it and drink tea. Settee.
No,
It's a chair. I'm sorry.
It's a chair.
I don't know if you know what it is, but it's a chair.
See, you live with this. Like,
Translate.
she will randomly throw things out on the podcast, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, chair. Okay.
It's a chair. It's
Sure.
a large chair. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
You get
but yeah, we found this antique chair that I wanted for my sitting room. How is that?
okay. And drinking tea.
And drink my tea and read my Bible and do my Bible study. And it overlooks the pool, but it's this really cool, cushy settee. It is a chair. Okay, it's a chair.
I'm
But
gonna need a
most
picture of
chairs
the
you
settee.
can't curl your feet up on.
But the whole point is you've gotten everything you're getting for Christmas already.
Except
Yeah,
the
but-
box,
So sad.
apparently, that I should have seen what was in it yesterday. I got a box yesterday. So
That's the bad thing about ordering things. They show up on your doorstep, right? And your wife picks it up. And she usually notices everything. It has a picture of what's in the box on 2 sides of the box. and
Oh,
she
that's a-
still claims that she doesn't know what's in the box to the person that never, ever not notices anything. Like she notices every detail.
okay,
And
so
I still do not believe that she doesn't know what's in the box.
okay. In my defense, I was extremely annoyed because Amazon delivery guy at our new house all of the boxes against the front door. So you literally have to force the door open and knock all the boxes away from the door to be able to get out the front door. And I was really irked because this was a really big box. And so I'm trying to shove the door open with this box. And so I just snatched the box up and I basically threw it down the hallway toward his office because I was so mad. I was trying to leave and I didn't pay attention to what the box was. And now I'm disappointed because I should have looked.
We'll see if it's a surprise. Yeah. So you got one box open.
You have one surprise.
Julie would be devastated.
I'm not giving it to you early.
She likes the surprise.
I like a surprise.
Even if she knows what she's getting, she gets this one gift every year and gives it to me.
Yes, I order a calendar.
It's a calendar.
I don't open it when it comes in the mail. I just give it to Shane and say, this is in my stocking.
Yeah. And then when she opens the stocking, she's amazed about it.
Because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my gosh, look at this. She just loves the surprise.
But I can't let you order it.
No.
Because they're limited stock. And they're going to run out by the time you remember to order. So that's what I order.
This is true.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to pick it wrong. Just whatever.
Oh, there's only one.
Oh, there's only one?
Mm-hmm.
I would still mess it up.
It's limited edition.
Limited. I don't want to touch that. Let's keep it going the way it's going.
I love surprises and I get surprised all the time. So we're exact opposites.
Yeah, I don't do surprises. I'd just rather it be I'd rather it be right than be a surprise.
Yeah, and I'm the opposite. Just surprise me, even if I don't need it.
But whatever you do surprise me with is always fantastic. I never have figured out why he always says, you just pick it out and I'll get it for you. Because the things that you pick out for me, especially if it comes from Mr. Clarence at Antiquarian Jewelers, which is the best place in the whole world to get surprises from. So you always do really good there. I don't know. Do the girls help you? It's probably the inventory too, but yeah. I know this box didn't come from there because it was a really big box where their boxes are really small boxes.
Yeah, with pictures on that side.
Julie, as the wife of an agency owner, what advice would you give to other spouses that are in the same situation you are?
Oh, if I have an answer for that. There was a lot of things I would do in accounting because Shane said, look, this is what we've always done. You just do this. And if I didn't know the why, I would stay confused. That's with any job. It helps to know the why. Working together, we actually worked in the same office there for a little bit.
Physical.
Oh my gosh. Did y'all really?
Yes. We were back to back and it was fine, except he loves to talk and he's always on the phone. And that really got in the way of my numbers. But of course, I wasn't in the office every day. But we made sure when we moved offices that we would not be in the same office.
It was actually when we moved into our permanent space, my office and her office were originally opposite corners of the building.
Yes.
The farthest point away.
Yes.
From each other as it could be.
Yes.
I don't know if that was intentional or just the way it worked. But in my defense, it's not that I like to talk. I have to talk.
It is your job.
It's my job. My girls have asked me, so Dad, what do you do all day? I'm like, I talk. But that was back when I was literally selling every day, producing. Yes. I talked. That's what you do. You talk to people. You have conversations. You tell stories. All these stories we're telling, I've been sitting here thinking these journeys in our marriages, in our businesses, the stories are the point. All the honeymoon stories. That's the whole point, is to pay attention on the journeys and build the stories. That's what we remember the most.
Because no good story ever started with I was eating a salad, right?
I'm not sure any good story would start with we work in the same room with our backs to each other. I'm just amazed.
We did that.
Anybody. I couldn't do that with anybody.
No.
It doesn't matter who they are.
Our offices are side by side to each other in separate rooms. And on some days, it still drives him crazy that he can hear me talking.
No, it drives me crazy that you walk in with a comment. That's what drives me crazy. I don't pay attention. I have no clue what you've said for a month in here. I can hear you talking, but I don't know what you're saying. But she knows everything I'm saying. Again, attention to detail, why she saw the picture on the box.
I did not see the picture on the box.
There's no way, because everything I say in the room next to it, she'll just peek her head in and goes, maybe you shouldn't say that. Or, good job.
They're going to call HR. Don't say that.
I can't believe he said that to those people. As soon as I walk out, sometimes it hits me when I walk out too. I'm going out to get something to drink and I hear it down the hall. I can't believe you just said that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
That's really good.
So in the same room, it would never work.
I could probably use that.
I would definitely be saying that.
Yeah, you would definitely say that. Are you
did
finding?
do that on a conference call, Julie.
I did.
You did.
She
You did. You were the person that called him out on a conference call for him not saying something that he should not have.
What did I do?
I talked about shacking up.
Shacking up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
And I heard you from my dad.
You did. And I also talked about something else. Carriers have short memories and executives have short memories. And anyway, I made a reference on an agent conference call, and it was probably inappropriate.
Very inappropriate.
In hindsight, but my filter, as I don't know, Daniel, maybe this is part of your issue. My filter's going away. I used to have a really good filter in my 20s and 30s, but once my mid 40s hit and now 50, it's like the filter getting removed.
Yeah, I very much relate.
Yeah.
I turned 50 this past year too, and it's a part of just getting older and not really caring quite as much about what other people think.
Which is actually a good thing. We talk about that, not caring about what other people think, not worrying about whatever, comparison, thief of joy, all those things we talk about. There's truth in that. I obviously don't want to be rude or unkind or anything like that, but just being to the point. This is the truth. How it's delivered in the tone probably needs to be worked on. I get accused of having a little bit of
Your tone.
my dad tone.
It's your tone.
It's what Julie calls it. It's my dad tone. And so that's not a good tone sometimes.
Maybe subconsciously we know that time is limited and we just want to get it done. Let's just get to the point. I'm running out of time as you get older. So that's the reason people in their 80s are just like one word. They just say that one word. No. Unwrap.
That's awesome.
But I will say, listening to Shane and Julie, it is like watching When Harry Met Sally. Y'all are the most Meg Ryan, Billy Crystal telling a story couple that I have ever experienced in real life.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, that's funny.
That's funny.
I love that movie too.
Is that a Christmas movie?
It's a New Year's. Of course, it covers the whole year, to be honest with you.
Sleepless in Seattle is
a Christmas
like
movie.
a New Year's movie,
Oh, it's
right?
definitely a
New
Christmas
Year's.
movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
Yes.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, I would go there. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
I like Sleepless in Seattle. Of course, I love You Got Mail.
I love You Got Mail too.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, I think all Christmas movies should be really about Christmas, and she just throws in Die Hard's a Christmas movie because they're a Christmas party. And how is that a Christmas movie? Everybody's dying, things are blowing up. Merry Christmas. They're at a Christmas party that makes it a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I saw it on
That's the same
Christmas
thing
Day
Sleepless
with
in
my
Seattle.
grandmother.
Why
It is a Christmas
I have
movie.
no idea why my grandmother took me to see Die Hard on Christmas
I
Day
didn't
for the
either.
movies.
That's
I like Santa Claus, Elf. Those are Christmas movies. You can bring out the old ones, Miracle on some Street.
34.
Just because there's a Christmas scene in the movie doesn't make it a Christmas movie to me.
But one of the favorite parts of our honeymoon, we got to see Love Actually with the score being performed by the San Francisco Orchestra. And that's the soundtrack of our Christmas now that's what's always playing in the background at our house during Christmas is Love Actually.
It is.
Okay.
So
Very cool.
That's probably my favorite, actually.
Yep. Julie, favorite and least favorite Christmas songs?
Favorite Christmas song is Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And least favorite, really hate, is Santa Baby. Hate it.
I know Tanya's hate all of them, but especially it went on a different level with the hippo song or something. Hippopotamus.
I want a
Yes.
hippopotamus for Christmas. I can't.
Yeah, she went into a different. I have never seen. She almost flipped out just because it came on. Like as soon as it came on, I was like, "Gee, I know you don't like all those like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stuff, but when
Yeah.
that one came on, she was like knocking down chairs to get it to cut off
Yeah.
quicker. It was
That
crazy.
one and Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. I'm telling you, when you were in radio for 2 decades, there are certain songs that you
Trigger
just can't
you.
handle. And those two are my triggers. I can't go there.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite and
true.
least favorite?
Oh, songs.
Yeah.
That's not my area.
Oh, that's not your area. That's right.
Yeah, music's not my area.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell one last Daniel story. So when we were planning the music for our wedding, I am such a music person, and being a dancer and having done radio is just part of who I am. And I had no idea that Daniel does not listen to lyrics at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I like the music. I don't care what it says.
We are picking out the music for our wedding. And I'm like, well, what?
To our beach wedding.
To our beach wedding, what song do you think our parents should walk down the aisle to? And he picks Escape, the Pina Colada song.
It's beachy.
It is beachy.
No, but it's about people taking out classified ads to have an affair.
That song.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know that's what it said.
I like
I was
pina
like,
coladas.
I like pina coladas. Yeah.
Yes, that's what he picks out to be our parents' song.
That's fantastic. I agree
Yeah.
with you. That's awesome.
I'm
Dan.
assuming you did
It could have worked out in a laugh. It could have been funny.
No,
memorable.
But she vetoed that pretty quick.
no, yeah,
But
I vetoed that.
In Daniel's defense, I probably didn't know that the name of the song was The Escape, right?
I
I
never
thought
knew
it was
that.
the Pina
Pina
Colada
Colada
song.
song.
I did.
And also, I probably didn't know what the song was about until I was probably 40.
I didn't know till college.
And I learned it that day.
Yeah, see?
And I was 40.
See?
So,
So
yeah,
there
she
you
taught it
go.
to me immediately. As soon as I said it, she taught me exactly what the song meant.
Yeah, I didn't know that's what it was. I had no idea what that song was about.
And I could make an argument that it's actually still good because they do end up getting together in the end and liking each other. So it's like a real marriage, right? You just
no,
They're-
there is
they're-
nothing about that is like a real marriage.
metaphorically, they are like so happy together, and then it gets dull, and then they're so happy together.
So life
You know,
with me
ups
is
and
dull.
downs.
Dull.
I did not. No, okay, I'll shut up now. There, we went too far. We went too far with that one. I was just trying not to be wrong. Wrong twice now.
And that's the key to marriage is like just let the other person be right or think they're right. And
I can see where you think that's the key to marriage.
That's not what I was going to say.
Julie, what are you going to say?
I'm sorry you think I'm wrong. That's what I'm going to say.
The greatest apology in the history of
That's
marriages.
I'm sorry.
That's her apology throughout the marriage. I'm sorry that
I'm
you think
sorry
I'm
that
wrong.
You think I'm wrong.
And I was wrong once because I thought I was wrong, and I was wrong about being wrong. That was the only time I was wrong, is when I thought I was wrong.
So, Julie, I'm going to let you and Daniel close us out with your favorite quote.
I picked, what if today we were just grateful for everything? Guess who the wisest person said that? You going to guess?
Julie Tatum.
No.
Elf.
No. Charlie Brown.
Oh.
The timing on that quote is really great because Daniel had never seen a Charlie Brown Christmas until
Oh, my
Friday.
goodness.
I just
I don't
wasn't
know
a
how
Charlie
you
Brown
felt.
fan, so I just clicked
Ah.
past it.
Yes. And so we sat down and I made him watch it, stop what he was doing, pulled it up on the Apple TV and made
It's
him
the
watch
best.
Yeah.
It's
And it was
fantastic.
great. I missed it for many years.
it. And now you get it.
I did. And it's like normal. You never notice things until you've been pointed out. We literally watched it. And then the very next day, I saw the clip somewhere else.
Yeah.
The clip of this Christmas story of what is it, Linus.
Linus,
Is it
yeah.
Linus? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like the very next day I saw it. And I was like, oh, I know it now. It was in the store or something.
No, we were at the concert.
Oh, it was at a concert.
Oh, yeah.
We
We
went to
went
a concert the very next night and they played that in the clip in the background. I was like, oh.
Because it's the best.
Yes. So, Daniel, what's your favorite quote?
I have mine about 10 years ago when I was in Monroe, Louisiana. We had a group of people come together and we.
You are
came-
really going to go there. You're going to quote yourself.
I don't think I quoted it. I don't know where it came from.
It was you.
It was me.
It was you. He's
Okay.
going to quote himself, y'all.
Awesome. I love it.
Well,
That's
see, I don't
awesome.
even pay attention to myself. It is better living through lower expectations.
Love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's very similar
That-
to what you're
We
grateful if you
we
don't
use
have
that all the time.
expectations.
We use the great Daniel Peel's quote all the time.
Yes.
All the time.
That applies across the board in life. When we set expectations and they're not met, is it the other person's fault or the situation's fault, or is it our fault for setting expectations?
And it goes back to being grateful for everything.
So it really means the same thing. Our two quotes are perfect, just like everything we do.
Thank y'all so much for joining us today. Merry Christmas to all of our amazing listeners. Thank y'all for this wonderful Christmas season, for supporting us, and for the incredible gift of listening to us and letting us share some of our stories and our memories.
It's been fun. Thanks for the
It's
invite.
been fun.
It's been
Merry
a blast.
Christmas.
It's been a blast. Attitude's a choice. Make a great one.
Bye, y'all.
Ready to get the ball rolling with your independent agency? Learn more at IntegraAgent.com. That's IntegraAgent.com. Thank you for joining us on IA Forward. Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now or learn more at IAForward.com.